Hey there, I'm Kelsey from MSP Design Studio, and today we are going to be talking about low light photography with our Sony AS7 II. In our previous video, we spoke in depth about the specifics and autophotography in different lighting situations, but now we are going to go more in depth into what this camera truly specializes in. We will be using different fun, artistic techniques to showcase its skills. First, when doing low light photography, it's typically best to use a tripod or steady surface if you are able. You may not notice it when you're taking other kinds of photos, but the slightest amount of shaking can alter your image in low light photography. Combine that with photographing a model who is also moving slightly and the alterations will be amplified. That's why it's best to be steady as possible and aimed clearly at your subject. Now, onto the technical settings. The shutter speed should be slowed down so that more light can reach the sensor in the time you are leaving it open. If you are going for a ghostly effect, these settings are ideal. Much like leaving the flap open on a pin camera, the model can move around and the camera appears to trace their movements. Taking advantage of the tracing can lead to light painting. This is the practice of moving a high-intensity light source around in front of the lens where you can draw an image, write something, or add things to your model. This is something often seen done at weddings with sparklers or other large events, but can be equally as fun with a flashlight. It will definitely take a couple of tries, as it can be hard to time what you are creating to how long your camera is taking the picture. These settings are especially fun to play with around the holidays when there are naturally more lights, fires, and candles around. The ever-popular baby with Christmas tree light photo is easier to achieve than you may think. But the composition of these photos is really important. You want to make sure that the light in front of your subject's face isn't so bright that it ends up blowing their face out or making them unrecognizable or too hot. Putting the light too close will cause this issue, so it's best to have them a couple of inches away from your subject. And remember, play around with it. Low light photography definitely requires patience and a lot of trial and error until you get the camera at the perfect settings to get the picture you want. It's also important to pay attention to how to photograph different skin tones when doing low light photography. Depending on the tone, they will either stick out or blend in, which you typically don't want unless you're going for that artistically. Adjusting your ISO, shutter speed, and aperture to the skin tone of your model and how they look within their surroundings and specific light situation is key. The Sony AS7 II is one of the best cameras on the market for low light photography and film, and we highly recommend it. I hope you enjoyed this video and try to use these suggestions in your holiday pictures. From all of us at MediaStar Promotions Design Studio, happy holidays and happy shooting!